Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dark Souls 2 Revisited. I'm Fox as always, and this is Foxeo Plays, my Let's Play channel. My main channel, FoxeoGames, can be located in the description box down below. Click that link and go subscribe. As of right now, as I'm recording this, I haven't uploaded anything in nearly a month, but that's only because I've been working massive amounts of overtime at work. In one 2-week period, I had just over 53 hours of overtime alone. That's not 53 hours worked. No, that's 53 hours just of overtime. So, it is what it is. You know, sometimes, actually, a lot of times, real life takes priority over video games. And for a period of nearly 3 weeks, I did not play a single second of a video game. Did I experience video game withdrawals? Not really. Not really. I mean, I wanted to go back and play some games. I started to get the itch, the urge, but, nothing massive. Alright. I've always wondered if at some point I'll hit that moment where I start going, well, maybe I'm just not interested in video games anymore, but probably not. I think for me, video games will be like movies. I don't know why I just went to her to see if I could level. Obviously I can't, I just spent all my souls. Lady. Okay, there we go. The Dragon Aerie is where we're going next. It's a surprisingly interesting looking place. I don't know why, but it never really gripped me. I mean, I look at the scenery here. Excuse me, I got a runny nose. I look at the scenery and I feel like I should be kind of in awe of this scenery. It should kind of stand out to me, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't. Like right there, this should be gripping me. I think it's the fact that it's so... I don't know. I guess if you're a console-only player... a lot of people get mad about this. They're like, oh, here comes that, PC Master Race stuff. But I'm just being honest. I'm being me. I'm not hiding anything. But honestly, when I look at this on my PC right now, yes, it looks far better than it does on the consoles. I would assume it looks significantly better than the PS4, Xbox One, but probably not that much better because, again, when I come in here and I look up like that, all I can think is, holy crap, that is such low res in the background there. Like, look at that castle, or whatever it is, the shrine. I mean, every time I move, you can see the sort of scintillating, I don't know if that's the right word, but the lines, the really bad anti-aliasing just go up and down the thing. It's like it has to sort of jiggle and wiggle for a little bit to maintain stability. It's just, the resolution in the background there is terrible. Like, the cliffs are not so bad, even though none of the textures here are really that great. More than anything, this game really needed a high resolution texture pack for the PC, and it's sad that it never got one, neither from the player base nor from FromSoft. Now, can they make one for it? I don't know. That's an interesting question. Could the player base create a high resolution texture pack? Some games are far more easily moddable than others. I know for the original Dark Souls on PC, while there were tons of texture mods, one thing you pretty much never saw, were mods to change the core look of the characters. Like, for example, you can't change the actual appearance of the character itself. Like, you can't make a character that has different proportion sizes or things of that sort, because of the way the game worked, it just didn't work out that way. Let's see, large Titanite shard, okay, and radiant life gem. I know you're not supposed to break too many of these eggs, I'm aware of that. That does seem a silly standard as well, like the idea that if you break so many eggs, something bad will happen with the dragons. The reason I find it an issue is because how do the dragons know? Like, you're down there by yourself, kind of solo, and underneath this cavern. So how would the dragon know where you are? You know what I mean? I mean, you're deep in this cavern, underneath the ground, rolling through these eggs, and honestly, I mean, who is seeing you to report to the dragons that you destroyed their eggs? I think about weird things like that. Like, the dragons would have no way to actually tell that you destroyed their eggs. So it seems strange that the dragons would be particularly mad at you for destroying the eggs when they'd have no way to know that you did it, for many of the eggs at least. Now the eggs that are out in the open near the dragons, and let's say you break them in view of the dragon, that makes sense to some degree. But then again, we'd have to think, well, are the dragons communicating to each other? Are they drakes? I don't know if they're drakes or dragons. But if so, then as you destroy more of the eggs, do the dragons kind of communicate with each other? Like, hey, this guy's breaking some eggs, and he broke the limited number of eggs that we set as our limit, so now we're gonna, you know, destroy the bridge and make them fall. I know it's a video game concept, so we shouldn't dig into it too deep, but still, I think about stuff like that. Today's drink of choice is actually hot coffee, black. I have to pour it from the French press. If you hear a pouring sound in the background, that's coffee. And there's this new bean I got from the store. I'm gonna only break the ones that I need to. Whoops. Let's see. I'm just trying to break the. Okay, there we go. Just break as limited a number as possible. I didn't need that though. Petrified Dragon Bone. That is this game's equivalent of Demon Titanite. I hate these things so much, these crystal lizards in this game. They never cease to aggravate me. Oh, hi. Did I get your attention? I'm gonna see if there's anything over here. There's a pathway. Is this the pathway I need to... Oh, shoot! That was close, even though there's no way he could have hit me there. Through the rock. Through the entire rock ledge. Without damaging the rock. Mind you. Yeah, oh, that might not have been very good. Yeah, the way you can get hit through stuff here. I mean, it's never been that great in the series. The series has always had an issue with that kind of stuff, but it's particularly bad in this game. Strange that he would run towards me. That was weird. They almost always run away from you, so I guess he was like, oh, I'll just run this way. I'm not sure what sets these dragons off. Excuse me. It would be easier just to skip by here, but you know, you see treasure and you're like, I want that treasure, even if I don't need it. Okay, so there's a set point at which the dragon will hear you, even if you don't really do anything to alert it. Ring of the Evil Eye +1. I think I actually already had that. Nah, I'm just gonna skip it. Yeah, those dragons aren't worth it for me to fight right now. I think they can drop, what, a Petrified Dragon Bone? But, like I said, I don't need them, so there's no reason for me to fight them for that. The more you play a Souls game, the more you slowly begin to realize that you really don't need all the treasure in the game. Like, there's always that sense of grab as much treasure as possible, all the treasure, and then you eventually have to come to the realization that some of the treasure is just of no value to you. Now we wait and see if I broke too many eggs and they destroy the thingy. I love the shaking bridge here. Like, the game's physics engine just isn't designed for it, so if you try to run or jump or roll, or it just has such a weird feeling for the physics. I like that they tried something new. Oh, he's gonna appear here, is he? I swear I've never noticed this before. I swear this is a brand... Oh, now he's really tiny. That was me setting my mug down. You want to talk to me now? Can I attack you? Is this a secret boss I haven't fought yet? I'm kind of tempted to see if I can attack him. No, okay. I'm glad I can't, because I don't want to make that decision right now. I don't know what the consequences of killing him would be.
Peace grants men the illusion of love. Shackled by falsehoods, they yearn for love, unaware of his grand and new truth. Until the curse touches their flesh, we are bound by this yoke.
Yoke? I like egg yolks.
Of the
Cinematic camera spin. You know, this reminds me of the final boss encounter in Demon's Souls. I won't say much about it. Those of you who've played it know what I mean. If you haven't played it, play it. If you don't have a PlayStation 3, borrow one from someone and play the game. If you can't borrow it from someone, buy it used on Craigslist or eBay. Seriously, you can easily get a PlayStation 3 for like $100 if you look around. You can, especially if it's an older model PlayStation 3. It is still worth it to this day. Would I pay $100 plus the price of Demon's Souls, which is now like, what, $20 brand new? Or $15 used or $10 used? Yeah, I definitely would. It's worth it. I would recommend it.
All men trust fully the illusion of life.
The illusion of life.
A construction facade, and yet a world full of warmth and spindles. Yamalo, I no intention shattering the yoke, spoiling this wonderful false.
Yeah, I think I am. I'm gonna spoil it, because that's what I do. I'm a rabble-rouser. I'm a troublemaker. I like to stir stuff up. Let's stir the pot.
I am Aldia. I sought to shed the yoke of fate, but failed.
Oh, this is Aldia, okay.
Now, I only await an answer. Seek the truth. Seek light, dark, and what lies beyond.
So they bring this guy in here to tell me the exact same thing that the Emerald Herald's already told me, seek the throne. Okay, well I guess he reveals a little bit more about the world, or at least his perspective of it. That kind of hopeless sense of mankind is exactly what you got from Demon's Souls, which should really be of no surprise. And quite surprisingly, I've been through nearly the entire Dragon Aerie, this initial area here, and the result was 1,545 souls, some of which I already had. The other nice thing about the Xbox One controller I'm realizing, I'm using the brand new that I just got last week, the Xbox One controller wireless dongle, so I can plug that into my PC. Now I can play wirelessly with the Xbox One controller. That's something PC players couldn't do until I think, what, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, whenever it just came out. The other nice thing I've noticed about this is, unlike the Xbox 360 controller, which let me go ahead and grab one now, so I can go ahead and tell you exactly the details. If you look on the back of your Xbox 360 controller, if you have one, there are 2 screw holes on each side. And so, you know, depending on how you hold it, sometimes I would actually feel those little screw holes there. And I don't know, it's just kind of like distracting. Whereas if you look on the back of your Xbox One controller, no matter where you put your hands, there are no screw holes or notches to feel, other than one kind of line notch that goes through the center, which honestly, I don't feel that unless I'm consciously thinking about it. The screw holes on the Xbox 360 controller, I would feel that without even thinking about it. Sorry guys, usually I try to go through and get rid of all the coughing, hacking, sneezing, and throat clearing, but I've been particularly lazy lately about doing my playthroughs. In my playthrough episodes, I spend somewhere between 5 to maybe 7 minutes editing them, and then I start the rendering process. So obviously it takes much longer to render that. It takes like 2 hours to render, but I spend like 0 time editing. All I do is lay down the audio. That should have hit me. Yeah, these guys are faulty with their hitboxes, and also they're ridiculous in that they have like unlimited stamina. They block 100% with their shield. They're quite unreasonable in many ways. I don't know what this will do, but yet I will do it anyway. There it is. I kind of just sensed that it would put something there for me. Yeah, so Staff of Wisdom, Mask of Judgment, Robe of Judgment. Okay, so if you want the Judgment set and the Staff of Wisdom, there it is. But unfortunately, you gotta wait till very, very late in the game to get it. I like to make my playthrough editing as simple as fast as possible because I do so many. Other people will go through and they'll actually speed up and slow down the footage to match their commentary. Not me. I just leave. If I have a moment of silence where I'm just wandering in the game, not saying anything, I leave it. I leave it as is, all natural. Some people will go through and individually duck out the audio for every little cough and sneeze and hack, and I used to do that. And it was quite the time-consuming process to do, too. Ducking out the audio basically means that you find the spot where you sneezed or coughed or cleared your throat, and then you just silence that little bit of audio briefly... Uh-oh, I'm hit. Oh, I managed to dodge. You silence that little bit of audio. You basically bring the volume level to 0 at that point, and that eliminates it so that people don't hear it. So it makes the audio sound cleaner and just more polished. But then again, it's more like a radio interview. My audio now has gotten to the point where it's more like a radio interview. I apply filters to make it sound high quality, increase the bass, you know, make the voices sound like they have more depth to them. But yet I keep all the little imperfections now. If I clear my throat, if I cough, if I briefly face away from the microphone and the volume changes, I leave that all as is now. These guys can be miserable if you don't have a ranged attack. Just absolutely miserable. And these are the guys that, of all the enemies in the game, they're some of the most maligned enemies for being totally and utterly imbalanced. They have pretty much unlimited stamina, they hit extremely hard, they have a ton of health or armor or both. And they're just relentless in attacking you. This guy's not so bad, but that other guy's terrible. I don't know how I missed that many times. Uh-oh. There we go. Yep, I knew I was going to get hit. I was out of stamina. And then you got that other guy shooting at you, and he broke my treasure chest. What a jerk. You know, I knew I was going to get hit by that, but I just took it anyway. Kind of risky given that there's this big dude coming for me. Ow. Let me go down here for a second. I really should use more of my Estus. I realize that I'm let's see, that hit me even though it came through the floor up above. I really should use more of my Estus and stop wasting so many gems, because I end up getting to each new bonfire with nearly all of my Estus left. Which is a sure sign that I'm not making effective use of what I've got. That's just rubbish, which we don't need. Hey buddy, I can do this for as long as you can. Actually, that's not true. He can do this forever. He's a computer. Rubbish. Being able to break the treasure chest, I think, is interesting. I might have actually thought it was a good idea when I first heard about it. In practice, though, I don't like it, because with the placement of treasure chests and enemies, it's way too easy for them to accidentally break, and they just start feeling like a hassle and not like a fun element, not like a unique challenge. It just takes on that feeling that, oh, this is a hassle. Oh, it won't auto-aim above that. It would take forever to kill him through his shield. Interestingly enough, it makes the same sound whether it hits his armor or it hits his shield, which ought not to be that way. It should make a very distinctly different noise whether I'm hitting his shield or his armor, for obvious reasons. You know, you want to know if you're being blocked or not. Alright, so he's gone. Now we just have this jerk face. Dragon Charm. Not sure if I get more damage from the headshot. 95, 190. No, it looks like I don't. Uh-oh. That was weird. He never did the follow-up attack. He can block with his weapon, but fortunately it doesn't block all that much, thank goodness. It's like, I think maybe 40% block, something like that. I gotta remember to keep just enough stamina to roll at least once. It's easy to forget that. And if he gets stuck right here, I'm perfectly cool with that. Let's switch to the cheaper arrows and done. Woohoo! Again, if you're gonna go with a melee character in Dark Souls 2, I cannot stress enough that it's very important to get either a crossbow or a bow. I recommend the bow just for the That's a mimic, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Yeah, that one's a mimic, I think. And done. I like when you kill him, he has to go instantly into his death animation, so he, like, boom, pops right out into full view, even though it looks unnatural, because they don't have a death animation for the mimic when he's not fully popped out. Ow. Dang. That's one serious shield bash. Oh, I didn't anticipate that other one. Oh shoot. Okay, every single time I'm getting hit here, he's acting like I'm being guard broken. That sucks. That's not cool. Dang. That's not gonna do much. I rolled that one. And I rolled that one too. Come on. Why do I freeze in place like that? That's so awkward looking. It seems strange. I'm not losing all my stamina and I'm not dodging either. It's just like this horribly delayed, This guy is tough beans. This guy's serious. Maybe I shouldn't even block. There we go. And he drops nothing for you. Jeez, at least drop like a nice little Titanite shard, large Titanite chunk. That would be nice if he dropped a Titanite chunk. I think that would be worth something. I think there is a hidden wall somewhere around here that I passed, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. I do want more chunks to upgrade my armor. The shield I'm not worried about so much anymore. The third dragon ring, I think that's what I want to wear next, isn't it? Yes. There we go. Because even though I can still fast roll, the lower your equipment load, I think the longer your roll is, and so the better your ability to dodge becomes. Most of the red phantoms in this game, later in the game at least, the later red phantoms are so absurdly ridiculous that I just can't resist talking about how stupid they are. Like this guy. He's gonna be kind of dumb. But there are far worse examples, so. Oh, I tried to parry him. That was such a mistake. There we go. Whew. That was a good amount. That was a good amount for a parry. Oh, come on. Now, he hit me, and I was completely behind him. That's not fair. No, 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 no! Darn it. Well, I got him back about where he was before he drank, so... There we go. What a punk. And what does he leave for us? Nothing. Come on. Come on, why do you gotta be like that? At least he gives human effigies. They didn't used to do that. That's a new thing, too. They used to pretty much give you absolutely diddly squat, just a little tiny bit of souls. Or a few souls, rather. You know, that's a lesson I had to teach some of my students in Japan. The idea of counting and quantity. For example, you don't say that you have many water. I had many water to drink, I had much water to drink, or I had a lot of water to drink. Water's not a countable thing unless you put it in a container. I have 5 bottles of water. Therefore, I have many bottles of water versus I have lots of water. If you poured all that water in a bucket, you have 1 bucket of water, but you have lots of water. And same thing with souls. I hear people misspeak all the time on this, and I think they know the right thing, they just don't say. These are even native English speakers will say things like, yeah, you know, when you have that many souls is correct. I have that many souls, lots of souls. Oh, I have too much souls right now. That's incorrect. Too much is for a non-countable item. I have too many souls is the correct term. You can't say I have too much souls. Well, you can say it. It's grammatically wrong. Am I part of the grammar police on the internet? I am. Do I always point it out to people in the comment section? I don't. Because for me, if I want to make an argument online, I think one of the weakest things you can do, unless you're arguing grammar, one of the weakest things you can do is point out people's grammar mistakes. Because if it's not directly relevant to what you're talking about, then it only makes you look like a jerk, unless you're pointing out mistakes that affect comprehension of the argument. Like when people are talking about, say, pre-orders on a YouTube video, they're discussing video game pre-orders, and someone is just criticizing the heck out of someone else for their grammar. But you know, it's not related, so why would you criticize their grammar? It's not related to the topic at hand. So I prefer not to criticize grammar, although I may occasionally make comments like, you know, we should correct certain mistakes that are becoming common. Like, for example, a very common mistake nowadays is for people to put the US dollar sign after the dollar amount. That is completely wrong. In American currency, the dollar sign goes before the number. So if you want to say $1.50, you would say $1.50. If you want to say $150, it would be $150. If you put $150 that is not an American currency number. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's a currency in any country, but it's not an American currency. American currency always has the dollar sign at the front. The exception is if you simply have change and you want to say like 99 and then the cent sign, you can do that. The cent sign goes afterwards. And I can, there are valid reasons why the dollar sign does not go afterwards. People are like, well, I put it afterwards because you don't say dollars 150, you say $150. I'm like, okay, we don't write everything exactly the way we say it. That's never been the case, not in any language, especially when it comes to signs and symbols. So instead, what you want to do is put the dollar sign in the front. But think about it this way. Let's say you do have $19.99. Well, if you put $19.99 sign, that's confusing. Are you saying it's $1,999? Are you saying it's 19 cents and $99? That doesn't make sense because you're literally putting the dollar sign right after the cents. And that's also not how you read American currency, because we would read that either $19.99. So if you're going to follow that rule, I know this is totally unrelated, but I just like these discussions anyway. If you're going to follow that concept of, well, Fox, that's the way we say it, so that's the way I'm going to write it, then you would literally write $19.99 as $19.99. Type that out right now. Type that out in the comment section below. Look how stupid it looks. $19.99. That's nonsense. That's why the dollar sign goes in the front. The dollar sign goes in front of the dollars, and the cents sign goes after the cents. And also, you do not need a cent sign if you already have a dollar sign. These guys are also very unreasonable. They're some very ridiculous enemies in terms of stamina and just their drive to kill you, their aggressiveness, their reach. I mean, I can't specify enough how dumb these guys are right here. And then they heal, of course, Gotcha. Oh shoot, that should have been a backstab. 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 Come here. Come here, I got something for you. But I love how the game's targeting system sucks so bad that even the computer-controlled NPCs attack in the wrong direction when they roll. It's freaking hilarious. Even they mess it up. That's how bad it is. They didn't even properly put it into their calculations. And as always, one of the best strategies for killing these NPCs is just to spam them. Spam them, then when your stamina gets low, get out of range. Let your stamina come back up, come back in, and spam again. It feels unsatisfying in that way. It's like, come on, you made this a spam thing. Oh, and by the way, we needed to put 2 of these massively powerful creatures with another one of those Dragon Guardian dudes because, that was necessary for some reason. Talk about ridiculous. I don't think they'll follow me in here, though. Am I right? Am I right or am I right or am I right? Because there's 2 options here. I'm either right or I'm right. We're about to find out. No, he won't. Okay. At least it doesn't look like he will. I can take him. Just me and him. Him and I. Oh, another thing that I hear people say wrong a lot is when you combine yourself and someone else. You oftentimes hear people say, it's him and I. Well, actually, it depends. It depends on whether you would say I by yourself or me by itself. For example, whose is that? Well, that's a bad example, sorry. Let me try to think about this again. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Sometimes you would say him and I, and sometimes you might say I believe him and me. For example, who's that for? Well, that's for me. Who are those things for? Well, that's for him and me. And then your teacher tries to correct, no, it's for him and I. You can tell your teacher she's wrong. Actually, no. You wouldn't say that's for I. You would say that's for me. So therefore, that's for him, And that's for me. So if you look at both and say them together, those are for him and me. It doesn't sound right because we've always been taught to say him and I, but it is right. Basically, the correct one is the one that would be correct if you said it without the other pronoun. So just remove the him or the he or the she or the her. Is that hers? Is that mine? You know? Does that belong to her? Does that belong to me? You wouldn't say, does that belong to I? You would say, does that belong to me? Do those belong to her and I? Sounds correct, but it's wrong. Do those belong to her and me? I know a lot of people say something like, go ahead and show me and my friend. Yeah, just show us working on this, you know, project. So you tell your professor. So go ahead and show me and Jim working on this project. She'll correct you. No, it's show Jim and I. And actually, that's wrong. You would tell your professor, actually, would you say show I working on this project? No, you would say show me working on this project. So it's show him and me, or show me and him. It doesn't matter who you put first, actually. If you want to try to present that false sense of humility, you would always put the other person first. Show him and me, putting others before yourself. But in those cases, I don't really care because, let's be honest, that's a stupid point to try to press humility. I mean, who cares whose name you put first? It literally means nothing and changes nothing. Once you get the feather, interestingly enough, it makes Homer Bones utterly useless. Which I'm actually okay with. This is actually, this used to be a popular PvP spot. If you'll notice from the lack of signs and messages on the ground, I'm now playing in offline mode. The reason is because as you get further in the game, I think you tend to experience more PvP from higher level characters. And once the higher your soul count, your soul memory gets, the more you're starting to bump into these people that are of ridiculous levels. People will call them over-leveled. Can I call them over-leveled? No, because, I mean, what is over-leveled? What's under-leveled? What's proper level? I mean, I don't know what any of that really means. It's in some ways kind of meaningless. They're just generic phrases, but you know, the last thing I want at this point in the game is to be encountering these fully stacked, fully upgraded, well-tuned, refined PvP characters that just kill me outright. You know, because a lot of the characters that I'm going to encounter, these people in the game, are just going to decimate me because they're totally decked out for PvP and I'm not. So I don't really want to deal with that right now. That's not the purpose of this playthrough, and it would only cause more frustration. And I don't want more frustration changing the way I see things here. You cannot reside within memory for long. That's true, but it's also stupid. I've talked about this before, but there's literally no reason. Actually, hang on. Well, you know what? I can't immediately leave. I kind of should do something else with my 37,185 souls. I have many souls, not much souls. I have many souls. Oh, this is like... Okay, no. We're gonna get out of this one. I'm not gonna die here with 37,000 souls. I don't know if you drop your souls here, but I don't want to risk it right now. Although maybe an easier solution would have been to simply put on the ring, the life ring. And another thing too, let's be honest guys, the reusable life rings mean that once you hit a high level and you start getting lots of souls from everything, the relatively cheap cost of repairing the life ring means that you can wear it at all times, so death literally means nothing. Dying in this game with one of those special life rings, what is it called? The one that preserves everything about you? I don't have one, but even just a regular life ring, unless you get petrified or something, death means nothing. You retain everything except for your geographical progress. You just go back to the last bonfire. Then you can repair it for super cheap compared to how many souls you're getting at that point in the game. And so it's like pointless to die. You don't even worry about it. So I guess it makes PvP easier in that regard. You can die and not even care that you died. But at the same time, is that really how you want the game to work? It's not how I want the game to work. You know, in Dark Souls, death always had some significance. Now, granted, when you were fully decked out and just doing PvP, you had so many souls and you had so much humanity in stock that it wasn't that meaningful to die. But it still meant something. You still had to at least go back and get your souls, right? In this case, you don't even have to bother doing that. I think I'll get some more stamina because I just see that being useful. Interestingly enough, the Dragon Aerie leaves you with no boss fight as long as you choose not to attack the Everlasting Dragon. And given that the Everlasting Dragon feels very much so like a like kind of a gimmicky fight and an unreasonably difficult fight that you probably aren't expected to have to do and you don't have to do. You know, I look at that fight as extremely optional and one that you're generally not expected to tackle. So, you know, that's why it's unreasonably difficult. And in that case, I'm okay with optional bosses that are somewhat unreasonable, especially when there's no expectation that you'll ever have to tackle them. Oh wow, I had no idea it was going to give me that much. I was just looking for one more level, but now we're going to do a couple more. Let's see where that takes us.
Bearer.
I just want to get close to 0 souls. There we go. 4,000 is close enough to me. As always, you know, some people actually get annoyed with me and they're like, Fox, man, you know, why do you always push your stamina so close to your health bar? That looks so stupid. You're supposed to have more health. I've had many people tell me this. And that's just how I roll, guys. Basically, I feel that stamina in Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Dark Souls 2 is essentially more important than health. Okay, now she sells Titanite chunks for 6,000 each. We'll buy all 10 if we can. So let's see if we can get 60,000 souls. I should have done that before leveling because I actually think I used up all my big soul counts. Yeah, we're not going to be able to buy all of them right now. That's fine. That's fine. With no boss encounter this entire play, it looks like this episode may have no boss encounter whatsoever. Let's get to actually, I don't even think we'll get to 24,000. Will we? Yes, we will. Okay, there we go. So now we can buy 4. And she even sells a Titanite slab. Not bad, huh? Let's see if I can upgrade with the few souls that I have on me. No, I need more souls. We're going to upgrade the chest piece, but that costs 3,680, so we'll just wait till we get more souls rather than popping more of the few souls we have left. And then we'll go do the... Whoops, that was the wrong one. The giant memories. I have to tell you that these giants just don't seem to fit in the storyline because in the world of Dark Souls, and they're supposedly supposed to be linked, these giants were nowhere. They were never spoken of. There's apparently absolutely no reference to them. Any attempt to link the giants to the original Dark Souls is very spurious at best and just downright dishonest at worst. There's really no connection between them in any way, shape, or form as far as I can tell. Let's see if I can put something on this when I get to this fight. I don't want to use my last gold pine resin, so we'll use that one if I do it at all. We'll see how much damage I'm doing to this guy first. I'm not entirely sure how to get through this area. I remember I was able to run through it in the past without too much trouble. Okay. That takes care of the... Oh, yeah. Right there. Okay. Oh, shoot. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's surprisingly easy to dodge his attacks. But you gotta be able to see him, though. And the biggest problem here is being able to see him. Because you kind of have to back up to see him. And you constantly got to angle upwards to still see him. Oh shoot. I'm sure I dodged that, but I guess the game says I didn't, so... Whatevs, man. I forgot about his stomp attack. That little quick jab right there gets me. I actually don't even need to roll that one. I should try to get him to just do stomps. I think that would probably be better at this point. Oh, he did hit me with that backhand. I love that overhand smash he does that comes straight down. It's extremely easy to dodge. You can dodge it any direction too. Oh, come on now. 2-3 attacks in a row went the wrong direction while locked on. It's gonna be really frustrating sometimes. There we go. I know that swipes would have made those easier to land, but at the same time, I seem to do significantly more damage with my thrust attacks. Oh, come on now. Don't be killing me right now. That wouldn't be cool. Alright, let's get out of here. Yeah, the time limit in these areas is just unnecessary. It feels completely unnecessary and stupid to put a time limit on it. Soul of a Giant. In that hole, the number of giant souls on your person reduces the level of armor on the old king, and oh my gosh, that is just so obscure and odd. And it's like, how are you supposed to ever figure that out? I would have probably never figured that out in my entire life. I could have played this game endlessly and not known how that worked. I just can't get over how silly that seemed. Well guys, we're at about 42 minutes. I'm obviously not going to get to and complete the next giant memory in that time span, but hey, at least we took out one boss, right? Arguably the most difficult of the bosses in the memories, and I think there are bosses in every memory, aren't there? Well, at least there isn't that one. Thanks for joining me, guys. I did point out some of the things I didn't like in this one. You know, some things about this game probably are not going to change, especially at this point, like how your wrists look like they're actually cracked and broken at weird angles while you're holding the sword. Look at that. That is a weird way to hold it. But anyway, I'm Fox with Foxeo Plays. If you liked the video or if you disliked it, you can give it a like, you know, thumbs up or thumbs down. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as well as my main channel, FoxeoGames, where I have reviews and commentaries on the video game industry, covering controversial topics like pre-ordering and Steam Early Access, which I'm opposed to. Also, I have a Twitter account. Twitter is where I love to keep up with everyone. I do so much more on Twitter than I do on my Facebook. I have Twitch, where I just surpassed 3,000 followers. I'll be looking to get a subscription model set up on that soon so that I can offer you guys quality options at all times, and then you can subscribe and support me if that's one of the things you like to do. Give free money to people on the internet that you don't know. And speaking of free money to people on the internet that you don't know, I have a Patreon account as well. At the moment, I don't think anyone's giving me any money. So either I need to go like find some death threats and post them and portray myself as a victim, or I just need to e-bag a little more. I'm Fox with Foxeo Plays. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.